You are amazing. All right, so it's setting it up for the Facebook Live.
I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It's all the things. I know. I want to make lots of these
I was
actually.
gonna say, if you made a shirt of that, I would totally wear it.
We're gonna do it. Tell Christy Goldstein, she's the shirt boss. All right, I think we are live right now. I've got Lynn here with me, and I'm just gonna, Lynn, for the time being, I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that the view is both of us. Yes, so everyone can see both of us. And we've got people tuning in. We have one so far. I'm gonna head into our group and make sure I can see the comments. So guys, if you're tuning in, welcome. I'm here with Lynn, who's been doing energetic programming for a long time. And I've had the pleasure of getting to know her in a lot of different ways, not just through my programming, but as a friend and as another respected person in health. I've learned a lot about my skin through Lynn, which has been awesome. She did my makeup for the 10K for Halloween. If you guys remember that in my Wonder Woman outfit, that was like she woke up at 5 a.m. to get into the studio and to do the whole thing. That was really special for me, by the way.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, but I also have to add in though, this woman ran a 10K wearing full makeup with lashes and like didn't sweat it off. I mean, you know, we put every waterproof makeup known to man and like sprayed her face down, but like she ran a 10K, then did Halloween with her family, and it was still looked exactly the same as it did at like 6 a.m. So
it did, and that's a testament to you. Maybe I didn't touch it a lot, I don't know, but whatever you did was magical, and I felt amazing the entire day. And I know a lot of people in our community really have so much respect for you and hire you for various things. And today, what I want to do is make a deliberate connection with the work that I do with the body, the energetic body, taking care of our health, and the work that you do with skin, because as I've found out alongside with you is how much we actually have in common in that area. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about what is listening to your body. And if you guys are tuning in, if you can hear me, you can give a little thumbs up. You can write down the comments, a hello, just let us know that you're there and that you're listening as I go on my spiel about listening to the body. So in my line of work as a kinesiologist and a health coach, I listen to the body in a lot of different ways. I teach women to listen to their bodies through the symptoms of distress that they're going through, whether it's their mood, their digestion, their focus, their energy levels. Your body's telling a story all of the time. And Christy's waving. And when your body's telling you a story, it's time to listen. And so if we can learn how to listen to our bodies, to the symptoms of distress, there are ways that we can think and nourish ourselves and take action in order to feel better from the inside out. And so what's interesting to me is that, you know, women come to me, they're like, okay, you're going to give me a meal plan. Tell me exactly what to eat. Tell me what to do. What is your plan? And the truth is the plan is you. It's your plan. Everybody is unique and bio-individual. And so when Lynn and I went for a run together, I think we ended up just the two of us, maybe on a rainy day. I forget which day it was exactly, or maybe it was on Halloween. And I was asking her about things with my skin, and she started asking me those questions like, well, how often do you wash? You know, what's happening with your skin? What's going on with it? And I realized she's like coaching me through my unique skin, what's going on for me. And there's no one size fits all product. There's no one size fits all thing. You could wash your face with the same product, what I learned from you, Lynn, like 5 days in a row, and it's going well at first, but then it dries you out. And so there's opportunities for us to listen to our skin also. And so here I am knowing how to balance the small intestine, large intestine, the spleen, the lung, the brain, the hormonal system, the bladder, the heart, the kidneys. And I haven't looked at the largest organ of all, which is the skin on the outside. And the truth is that, you know, we can balance ourselves on the inside so much. And I actually haven't had any skin problems for a very long time in this way, but I'm aging, COVID hit, masks, mask me, stress, some environmental factors that we can't really control have contributed to a lot of additional skin things, Lynn, that me and a lot of women in our group are dealing with. And so I'd love to talk to you about symptoms of distress of the skin, our largest organ, which I love, you taught me that too, of our body. It's our outside, our exterior. So much of the work that you and I do has to do with helping women just feel their best selves and being able to feel really confident about our skin on the outside. is definitely a part of that. So Lynn, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about what you do and what are the symptoms of distress that we should look for in our skin?
Okay, thank you. I'm super excited. I'm like, oh, I get to be on live with Helen. This is so cool. Such an honor. Yeah, I do remember that conversation, and it was kind of fun because it was like, you helped me so much think about some things that I hadn't prioritized before and I hadn't really been paying attention to. And so it was nice to kind of return the favor. In the meantime, we brainstormed a little bit, and we realized it's not all that different from conversations I really have every day with my clients. And my big focus, I've been a makeup artist for more than 25 years. I've been an esthetician for a little over 2 in this realm, in the facial world, I would say. But I've been studying skincare for more than a decade. And my biggest focus has always been to really personalize each routine and conversation I have, which is your focus as well. There's no one size fits all, right? So everybody's different. Everyone's different in what ingredients are going to work for them, but also everyone's different in terms of how much time they have in their day, how much time they're willing to commit to a routine. Sound familiar? So it's
how much time is this going to take, right?
Yeah, wait, I have to do 5 steps of what? And meanwhile, you're like, wait, how many cups of vegetables do I have? And am I looking on the back for xanthan gum on this box of things? And it's like you're already doing that. But the thing about it is your skin is an extension of what you're putting in your body. And I hear from so many women and men who come in through my door here that they're just like they just don't know what to do. It's so overwhelming. There's so many products, there's so many ingredients, and they just want somebody to go use this, and this, and everything will be great. And it's like, it's not going to work that way. We got to work together to figure out exactly what's going to work for you. So I hear from a lot of people, especially moms with young kids, sound familiar, a lot of us, who are just like, I just don't have any time. It's like, well, if you're making time for the exercise and the meal prep and the things like that, if you're, thinking in Helen's energetic way, you have time to then think about the skincare and work that into your life. So if you think about, if you have more time in the morning to do things, that's when the majority of your skincare should come in, is let's make some time in the morning for you to do that. If you're falling into bed at night and you barely have room to even put on PJs and you're just falling into bed, then we're not going to do a complicated skincare routine at night. And that's some of those are the questions that I ask when I'm talking to clients.
Amazing. It's like those roadblocks to health, where we feel like, oh, I can't possibly, it's almost that all or nothing thinking, right? Where it's like, well, I can't because I can never stay up until past 9 o'clock, but you're inviting this flexibility of where we can do it, and taking some of that scary, like taking that first step out of it. Like, what if it's simpler than that?
What if it's a simple time shift?
Right.
And just like you need to be open to different routines and different ways to look at your body and your digestion and the feelings in there, you also need to be open to, maybe I'm doing things at a different time for my skin. So one of the biggest breakthroughs I had with a client was, she was like, I just don't have time at 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm so tired to do this skincare routine you've given me. And it was like 4 things. It wasn't that much. I never give somebody 12 steps or anything like that, unless you're like me and you want that, in which case I'll do. But I was like, she had 2 young kids. I said, when do you put your kids to bed? She said, well, one of them goes to bed around 7. She had a really young kid, and one goes to bed around 8:30. And I was like, okay, do you get them ready together sometimes? And she's like, well, yeah, sometimes they go in the bathroom. I'm giving them a bath. I'm like, well, if they're playing around in the bathtub and you're just sitting there waiting them to stop playing in the bathtub, why don't you do your skincare routine while you're supervising them in the bath? And she was like, and it was like, ding, ding, maybe I'm not doing my bedtime routine at 10 o'clock at night. Maybe I'm doing it after dinner or before dinner, just kind of, it's just an end of the day routine. You don't have to think of it as bedtime,
Right.
So things like that. So, so five symptoms of distress for your skin are, kind of similar to maybe some distress you might be feeling in your body. So, Helen teaches us all about really paying attention to how we feel after we eat, right? So bloating, you know, gassiness, and just overall just feeling a little off. So your skin can absolutely give you signs that it's not happy. And some of the things I've noticed, number one is dehydration. Okay. Now, how many times have we heard drink water, drink water? You know, we did all that 100-ounce challenge, or what were we doing? That challenge of the water. Yeah, there you go. And so one of the questions I always ask when you come to me for a facial is I always say, how much water do you drink? And people, well, it could be better. Everybody's, well, it could be better. Yeah, you could be, we all could be better. And it's not about being bad, by the way.
You know, my shirt doesn't have water on it.
Oh my God, it doesn't.
I just want to point that out. Where's Christy Goldstein?
They see she's watching. See, take note here. We gotta redo the little, the logo there. But it's not all or nothing. To Helen's points, like a lot of people just throw up their hands and go, well, I didn't drink enough water today. I guess I suck. I'm never drinking water the right way again. And it's like, no, tomorrow I'll drink more water. It's just one of those things that, like, when I drink enough water, I can tell, and so can my skin. When you drink enough water, your skin is like, it's glowy. It just has this nice little, you know, sheen to it. And I'll give you a little test. One of the things that people do when they come in here and I put the scary lamp over them is I do a little test against their cheek, and I'm not trying to see if they have wrinkles, but I press my finger against their cheek. If you see little lines that aren't wrinkles, those aren't wrinkles. I mean, some of them might be wrinkles, like you see my crow's feet, but like you're seeing the dehydration, right? The upper levels in your epidermis that are just like, they're just dried out. And if you can't see it, or if you don't have a mirror nearby, I'll give you a hand test. So everybody take your hand and pull up on the top of it and then let it go. Okay. It's a little,
what should we see?
So it should bounce back like quickly. If you have enough water in your skin, it should like bounce back. If it's taking a little while, it's not that you're old. Okay. It's just that you don't have enough water in your skin. And truth is, you can tell. And this is, Helen talks about this. If you're feeling kind of sluggish, like go drink a glass of water. See if that helps you. Same thing.
It's not always coffee. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, sometimes a glass of water can really pick you up. Out of the people who are watching, we have almost 10 people watching right now. Who's touching their face and checking for those wrinkles and looking at their hand? How many of you are dehydrated?
Hydrations. Everybody's like,
I know I can always stand for more water.
And I would say on a particularly dry day too, you know, the wind pulls moisture out of your face. So almost everybody's dehydrated. And sometimes people drink a ton of water and their face is still dehydrated. I have clients like that. So dry skin is different than dehydrated skin. Okay. When you have dry skin, it means your skin's not producing enough oil. When you have dehydrated skin, it means that your skin doesn't have enough water in it. Okay.
So dehydrated is a water consumption thing, and dry skin is probably you'd recommend for different seasons, right? Again, like our bodies change with the seasons too, and the bitter cold, and you're going from the hot, and that you're going to need something that has more water or hydration in the product, right?
Yeah. And so it's not uncommon to use a different products during different seasons, and everybody, oh my God, that's so many products and that's so many different things. But that's why if you talk to somebody who, you know, does this for a living and who thinks about skincare like this, we can customize it where you only have to tweak one thing,
right?
Maybe two for the seasons, right? So
we've got 2 or 3 dehydrated members here that are saying they need more water and takes huge gulp of water.
Right, I know. I just saw that. Yeah. I think everybody can have more water, and you know, I can say it all day long, and I'm not perfect. I mean, goodness, I could use more water too. When I'm in here, I'm working all day. I have a water with me, but it's like, I can't be chugging water all day when I'm working because I have my hands in someone's face. I don't, you know, unless I become an octopus sometime soon, I don't have the ability. Although I did have a massage once where the therapist was literally wearing a pack of water on her back, and she had the straw in her mouth. It was one of those like running, you know, running bladders. And I could hear her like taking sips of water as she was doing the massage.
I'm going to get into that. I'm just going to walk around with bladder on my back.
Maybe that's the answer.
That's the answer. Ooh, energetic way back bladders.
That's the next thing. Term. Don't you hate that term, water bladder? It just sounds so I'm sensing branded little backpacks with a little energetic way. Like,
Yes. Yeah. Approved by Lynn. This is a thing. This is going to become a thing.
I think we're going to have all these people going about their workday with.
Or we can do those hats with the straws, you know?
Oh yeah. Instead of a beer thing. We
right.
Can... Okay. So Pamela, sorry, because you joined late, there's 2 ways you can check for dehydrated skin. You can press against your cheek like this, with your finger and just lift up a little bit. You're looking for tiny little lines. You're not looking for wrinkles per se. And you're looking for just those tiny little lines, and it looks like a diaper. And you're looking for like just little lines like that say the upper layers of your skin. Or you can test the skin on the top of your hand, where you just gently pull up and let it go. And how fast it snaps back is an indicator of how dehydrated you are. So if it goes back really, really fast, you're nice and plump and supple. And if it takes a little second and goes, you're kind of dehydrated. So that's how you can check yourself. So that's dehydration versus dryness. You can be both. Okay. You can be neither. Some people are just perfectly balanced and, have the water and everything. Most people are a little out of balance. And that's why a good skincare routine is a good thing, because you need to protect your body's biggest organ. Your skin literally protects all of your internal organs.
Right.
So that's make a case for prioritizing it. Because I do hear from a lot of people, Helen, we had this conversation. You were like, I pay attention to all these things in my life, and like my skin's not a priority.
Oh.
And I hear that from a lot of people. And it's not that you're vain. It's not that, you're placing too much emphasis on your looks. It's you're literally taking care of your body when you're taking care of your skin.
Yeah.
Your skin's the extension of your body. And if you look at it that way, I hope it becomes a little bit more reasonable, to consider and to continue thinking about. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and as we age, or like, what are the sort of things that we see when people come in, they're like, ugh, like, I feel like I'm getting older. Like, what are those kinds of things that we could call distress, but it's also kind of life, that we could slow down or pay more attention to? Like, what causes those symptoms of aging? I guess that would be like, like wrinkles early or anything like that. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. Number one, I want everyone to think about their lovely parents, because they give us life and they also give us our skin. So thanks, parents, for the genes that can sometimes lead us to have things like wrinkles early or whenever you get them, acne for sure. Your pore size is absolutely genetically determined, just like your eye color, just like what kind of eyebrows you're going to have. So number one, I just want everybody to sort of give yourself a break. That's the number one thing I want you to know. So some things are just going to happen no matter what you have done or try to do. Okay. Because they're literally genetically determined, but certainly it's not all or nothing. There are things you can do to slow things down. And that's what it's about. You're not going to stop aging. We just want to slow it down. We want to do it as gracefully and as comfortably as possible and still like ourselves in the end. Okay. So wrinkles, the number one thing that causes wrinkles and just skin degradation, I guess you could call it, with dark spots, redness, a lot of those things, is sun damage. Okay. So I grew up in Southern California. Actually, my early childhood, I was in Puerto Rico. And then when I was almost 7, we moved to California. So I spent my life up until I moved out here to New York, in my late 20s, in the sun. And my mom, she put sunscreen on me. She did, but we didn't always reapply because I was in the ocean or in the pool or wherever I was. And it just wasn't a priority. We put it on in the morning and that's it. So a lot of things I'm seeing on my skin, a lot of things you might be seeing on your skin are from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, right? A lot of the wrinkles you're getting and so literally on my 40th birthday, I swear my face went like this. Like I woke up the next morning and I was like, what happened? you know, a lot of stuff like that happens because of things that happened in your past and when you were a kid. A lot of the sun damage, and it's cumulative, right? So it happens. And then one day you look in the mirror and you go, add in a pandemic, which, okay, who could have planned for that? And the fact that a lot of us are doing things like this a lot where we're on Zoom,
right,
and we're staring at ourselves in a camera. And all of a sudden now we're becoming even more self-conscious, and we're starting to say those negative thoughts to ourselves like, oh God, when did I start looking so old? Or look at these bags under my eyes. And so again, number one, give yourself a break. Okay. Because we're our own worst critics, and there's definitely things you can do. So what causes those things? Sun damage. The other thing that causes them, stress. Another thing that can contribute to it is not taking care of your skin. So not washing it properly. You may think, well, it's a big deal. I'll just grab whatever cleanser off the shelf and I'll just wash my face. If you don't use the right one for your skin, you can strip the moisture out of your skin, and then your skin becomes vulnerable to pollution, dirt, bacteria. You know, you've got to treat your face, your body skin too. Don't neglect your body skin. You've got to protect it and keep it fortified so that it can protect you, right? Got to moisturize. Even if you have oily skin, you've got to give it some moisture. You've got to make sure that it gets what it needs. You know, those are the two main ones. And then the last really big one is sunscreen.
Right.
And one big thing I just want to mention, everybody, I don't mean to, burst everyone's bubble, but like, okay, so we're in a pandemic and people are like, well, I never leave my house anymore. If I do, it's only to Whole Foods. Okay. But if you're sitting in front of a computer like we are right now, you're getting light damage from the computer.
Really?
This is something I've been reading a lot about, and it's
oh my God.
Light damage. So you want to talk about pandemic skin? It's stress, but it's also light. Blue light damage from phones. So we have to shut our phones off at 9:00, right? Or 8:35. We close the kitchen, we turn our phones off. Okay. Why? Because blue light gets into your eyes and it can damage your circadian rhythm, right? It can damage your whole sleep cycle. It damages your skin too.
Oh man, are you guys hearing this? So we need to put like an SPF, thing on just in general to protect. There's so much overlap. It's like, when we think about like, why do we have 6 cups of vegetables, or why do we drink so much water, and all of these principles of health to protect us from environmental stressors on the inside so that we don't develop inflammation, so we don't develop, inflammatory diseases or issues that go on in the body that are preventable. And so suddenly here's this other thing that we have to think about, because I'm literally in front of the camera, I don't know, at least 10 hours a day. I mean, maybe that's extreme, but now because I'm working out in, camera time and all of that. Lynn, that's huge.
It really is.
Everyone should know about this.
I feel like, unless you read like really crazy skincare journals like I do, it'll be something like this, where all of a sudden you learn about it and you go, what? Now, obviously it's different from the sun. The sun is still the worst. And it is different, but it still is causing a little bit of damage every single time you're exposed to it. So, okay, you're going to get up and like slather Coppertone on your face in the morning, maybe, if that's your sunscreen of choice. But there's so many really good sunscreens out there that are literally, like, I have one that I love that is a vitamin C serum with a sunscreen in it. So like if you're already going to do a vitamin C serum, which if you want to talk ingredients that are really good for skin, we can absolutely do that. Again, not one size fits all, but in general, some really good ingredients for skin health. Just like it is for your body, vitamin C is really good for your skin. But you can also do a powder sunscreen. So there's literally these brushes with mineral sunscreen in them that are self-contained. Yeah, there you go, Pamela. I know.
I know. I'm like, oh God. Okay.
I'm like, oh,
how long are we on this call?
Right. Exactly. So let's do this. Everyone leave right now. Put on sunscreen. No. Take the phone with you though. Yeah, but they have powder sunscreen. This is my favorite thing in the world because it's portable, right? So you put it on and you dust sunscreen on your face. It's powder. So you don't have to worry about it smelling like sunscreen or being goopy, because that's the number one thing people tell me. I hate sunscreen. it's gross. It feels oily and I hate putting it on. So you put this powder on and then, you know, at lunch, touch it up. When you're outside, you can put it in your part so that your part doesn't get all sunburned. You can dust it on your kids because the kid's like running away anyway.
Come here, guys.
You're like, come here.
Fairy dust.
And then my daughter's, I did that with her. She's like, that tickles. I'm like, all right, it's time for the sunscreen, you know, stuff like that. So there's options out there. If that's a concern for you, and frankly, it should be, because
it absolutely should be. I'm legit concerned, and I'm wondering if that's why I feel like my face is so dry all the time. And I mean, that could be a part of it.
It absolutely could be a part of it. Anytime your skin is under assault, whether it's from the actual sun or something like being on the computer, you know, I mean, if you think about it, it's like you're just sitting in, you know, obviously for you, you're being very active in front of the video, which is great. But you know, for other people who aren't doing your boot camp or the other things, and they're just sitting there and working all day, it's like it takes its toll. It absolutely takes its toll. And when skin is damaged, these are some other signs of distress that you can get. So you mentioned inflammation.
Yeah.
If you have inflammation in your body, it's going to show up on your skin as redness.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Broken capillaries. A lot of times people will get broken capillaries next to their nose. This is one of the areas I conceal most when I'm doing makeup. And when I'm telling people to conceal, broken capillaries can just be from, it can be from sun damage, but it can also be from dryness where your moisture barrier is broken down. That's another big way. If you have any kind of recurring redness, so a nice healthy glow from working out is good. But if your skin stays red throughout the day, and sometimes it's accompanied maybe by bumps or like something that almost looks like a rash, it's usually a sign that your moisture barrier is compromised and we need to start trying to repair it. And the good news is you can repair it. You just have to be really diligent and committed to using the right products consistently. And again, nothing's a quick fix.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You have
How long does it take, Lynn? You know, people are always looking for quick fixes, right? Again, that's part of the makeup, right? It's like, okay, now I look good, but we really want to feel health, right? And healthy and feel like we can wake up in the morning and feel like we glow. When you have a good regimen, say somebody comes in to see you and does one of your services, hydrofacial or basic facial or whatever, and then they get onto a regimen. I mean, for me, my thing when I took care of it went away within 3 days. It like dried up, fell off. My face was glowing. I felt great. I didn't upkeep it. That's another conversation for another time. I'm coming clean. So my little guy's coming back again. I know it's just a pandemic problem, but how long does someone have to commit to a routine to start really seeing a difference? Because I feel like there's like under eye things, and there's, you know, there's like wrinkle things and all of these, just like food, right? There's all these marketing things that they put on it in order to get you to buy it, or like, how long does it actually take to see a difference? And is that true? Like, are you going to see a difference? Or you just kind of like taking care of your skin? Like, is there truth to any of that stuff that they say about?
It depends. Honestly, it depends on your concern. Certain concerns are going to take longer. I mean, that's just the reality. If it's dryness, if your skin is dry and you haven't been using the right thing and you've been stripping it with the wrong products, you're going to see results within a couple days.
Yeah.
Of using the right things. Your skin will just your skin will literally be like, thank you. And it'll start to just like really start to absorb and do well. And it'll start to look, you know, better, and some of the redness might go away, and you'll start to see a difference in even how it feels. You know, it won't feel as tight. It won't feel as itchy. Sometimes people get like tingly when their skin is too dry. You know, if you could touch your cheek and it feels kind of like sandpaper, I mean, you need some like TLC. You need some really good exfoliation, and you need some really good products that aren't necessarily gonna like, you know, they don't have to break the bank either. There's definitely ways that you can come up with a routine for whatever. Well, we can work together to come up with something, no matter what your budget is. But you know, that if your concern is dark spots, those kinds of things will take a little longer.
Okay.
Every dark spot eventually, if you never went out in the sun again, will go away.
Oh,
but
interesting.
That's not reality, because what happens is, the reason it's going to go away is because we're constantly shedding skin cells. Okay. In our daily lives, we're constantly shedding skin cells. And you can even do this again. If you want to do something on your hand, take a piece of Scotch tape, put a piece of Scotch tape on the top of your hand, take the Scotch tape off your hand. Okay. What's left, what's on that piece of Scotch tape is dead skin cells. This is actually something that we used to do. I worked for Clinique, was my first skincare and makeup job. And that's why I love wearing my lab coat, because it kind of reminds me of the Clinique. But we used to run around and stop people in the aisles, which God mortifies me now. But like, we'd stand in front of people and go, hey, have you tested, or do you have dead skin cells? And people would be like, and then we'd show them, yes, you do. You need this cream. And the basic principle is we're all shedding skin cells. Now, when we're 3 years old or 1 year old, we're shedding them every 14 days. And that's why babies and little children have this gorgeous, plump, beautiful skin that you just want to squeeze. And then as we get older, we stop shedding skin cells as often. So that's why you have to use a product to help get those dead skin cells off. Otherwise, you can put all the moisturizer on in the world, and all you're doing is moisturizing dead skin. And it's just sitting on top. Okay. So when people, thank you. You love my lab coat, Pamela. I appreciate it. Yeah. So when people come in, I want that glow. And I'm like, okay, number one, how much water are you drinking? Number two, how are you exfoliating? How are you removing the dead skin? People are like, well, I have a scrub. I'm like, okay, what kind of scrub? And we get into that. And there's certain ingredients, which again, we can get into if you want, to kind of remove those dead skin cells. The older you get, the more exfoliation you need, because your skin slows down.
Like the more often you have to do it. Now, are you talking about something like what is it? Like I have a retinol sort of thing, and like that kind of stuff, right?
Yep, retinol will do it. Alpha hydroxy acid. So if any of you have ever heard of glycolic acid or lactic acid, so the
lactic acid, yeah.
Sunday Riley, there's this Sunday Riley is the brand. The product is called Good Genes, which I think is great. And it's this serum that you apply, and it has lactic acid in it, and it helps to remove those dead skin cells. And you can test it yourself. You can literally take half your face and try to use your moisturizer on that side. And then the other side, exfoliate first and then put your moisturizer on, and you'll feel it. You'll feel the difference in how your skin's absorbing that product, right? And again, not everyone does it every day, and not everyone will do it with the same product. But that's why you have a consultation and you kind of figure out which is the right one for you. But that's why dark spots, you use something to remove the top layers of dead skin that are discolored, and then you can use ingredients that go in the skin that try to break up that discoloration. But there's some dark spots you can never get rid of because they're so deep in your skin and so old. Like I have one over here on my face, which is covered with makeup. But if y'all have ever been with me running, you see it's over here. That's all the way down in the deepest layers of my skin. And I've had dermatologists say, forget it. And I've been like, okay, I guess it's makeup then. Yeah. So, and am I upset about it? Yeah, probably. But I also know that I can cover it when I want, and it's not that big of a deal over here for me. Now, there's some people who have them all in through here. There's treatments you can have that will speed up the process. I do some of those treatments. Then you can also do it at a dermatologist at a much deeper level. So there's things you can do about it. But to answer, to further answer your question, it takes about 30 days on average to see results from any skincare product you're going to use if it's for a certain concern. Moisture, you're going to see right away. But softening of wrinkles, redness, hyperpigmentation, little sunspots, age spots, whatever you want to call them. Even if you're breaking out, you had dramatic results right away because you had an extraction. So that's another thing. If you have one that's recurring, like Helen does, if there is such a thing as having a pore that just keeps filling up, eventually I'd maybe want to microneedle that and see if we can maybe strengthen the walls of the pore to make it so that stuff doesn't fall in there again. So you can.
She's evil. She's like super evil. She was like taking a knife, like a butcher knife, to my face and getting in there and like carving things out. I was screaming at her on the table.
The demon barber of Fleet Street. That's me. And this woman's been through childbirth, and she still told me, By the way, this is the butcher knife that I was using. Okay. Let's talk about a drama queen right now.
It's funny because Galit came to see you recently and she was like, oh, it was so great, so relaxing. And I said, well, do you have any extraction? She's like, yeah. And I was like, wasn't awful. She's like, no, it's like not a big deal. I'm like, are you kidding me? She was, I don't know. It's just the way my face is.
She was yelling, she was yelling things at me. She was like, I hate you.
I was like, I hate you. Why are you? And I couldn't stop myself. I was like screaming obscenities. Yeah, that's how I talk to my waxing.
3 days later, you liked me just fine, right?
So much, and I still. Oh look, there's my little buddy. Mommy. So Lynn, you had said something else that I wanted to mention that reminded me of our run was when I asked you. I said, how often should I be doing the retinol, or how often should I be doing the good genes and all of that? Because I was doing everything. I went like full force. My mother-in-law got me the full Sunday Riley. I'm like, all the things all the time, vitamin C, Luna, like all the stuff. And You're like, whoa. Like, that's the listening part. Like, I don't need all of that just because it comes in a special pretty kit.
Right. Yeah. And I get that a lot. Everyone's like, well, I get this package. So that must mean that I need to use all of it twice a day, and that's what some people might think. And I love you bring that up because it's not always the case. So this is where listening to your skin really comes into play. So, now I use a lot of different things. Number one, because I enjoy it, but number two, because I'm always trying different things that clients recommend for me, because I want to be able to speak to them and recommend them. So, but what's nice about that is that I have this toolkit, if you will. Okay. So one of the things your skin's going to tell you it's mad at you by being red, itchy. You get like a random breakout somewhere where you never would, or you get like a little rash. Okay. That means that something you put on your skin is either not right for you, or you're just using too much of it. So I always tell people, okay, put that on the shelf for like 2 days and see what happens to your skin. Yeah. So on any given day, you can listen to your skin and what's it telling you? I need more moisture today. Oh, I'm feeling a little dry this morning. On the days that it was really dry and like, you touch everything and you're getting shocked. One of those days, you need more moisture in your skin because it environmentally, it's a very difficult day, right? Maybe your skin is angry at you because it's breaking out from maskne. So that's when I need to go in my arsenal, my toolkit, and pull out my salicylic acid and use my salicylic acid that morning to, clean out that area and, try to see if maybe I can calm that, or there's a couple of other ingredients you can put on it to calm it down. Okay. So every day you can kind of just try to take stock and listen to your face. Now, sometimes it's not always obvious. It's not always going to show. But usually it's the visual piece that most people come in saying, I don't know what's going on with my skin, Right. And
I remember you saying also, you were like, there might be a place where you put like a more oil-based moisturizer because it's really dry there, but then the other places you don't. So it's like even more complicated than we could ever imagine. It's not just a free-for-all, blah, blah, blah. It's also, what do you call that skin type where it kind of varies?
It's combination.
Right.
And a lot of people think they're just oily or just dry or just whatever normal is, but most people are combination. You're really dry, like back here, because you don't have as many oil glands back here, right? So
yeah, feel
the
that.
majority of your pores, when you have them, are all in the center part of your face, but you can be a capital T zone, right? And you can have oil here and all through here. You can be a lowercase t, where you have here and here, right? You can be an upside down T, where you have only oil here and on your chin. And for a lot of women, it is this, because this area on women, everything basically below the nose, anytime you get a breakout there, it's usually hormonal.
Interesting.
So again, sound familiar? So
yeah,
it's inflammation related and hormonal. So a lot of times, obviously, when wherever you are in your cycle, a lot of times you get that really big painful one, or If you're lucky, you get one. If you like me, you get 5, right? And they're like all over here, and they don't ever pop, and they don't ever come to the surface, and they're annoying. And so how about this? How about we use one skincare routine for 3 weeks out of the month? And the week before, you know, you're going to get those breakouts because of your cycle. If your cycle is predictable, you switch to a slightly different skincare routine that has ingredients that help to keep that area clear of oil and bacteria, like salicylic acid.
Right.
And then you switch back to your other routine. So that's another way you can listen to your skin.
Yeah.
Is if you give it what it needs, wherever it is that day. And there's some nights where I know I've been through the ringer. I know I've had a particularly stressful day. And you know, those days, maybe every day is that way. So I know I'm using a particularly calming oil that has a really nice scent that I love to use, that smells great. And I'm taking my time, whatever time that is, to really put it on. And that's the way I'm listening to my skin. This is what my body needs. So I'm putting it on my face so that I can smell this lovely oil. It feels really nice. You know, it's one of those things where you can make, if you look at your skincare routine like a ritual that's going to help you feel better about yourself in general, then it's not as daunting, right? Because if you think about it, you're taking that time to apply your skincare. That's taking time for yourself. And that's important. That's really important. And if it's the only touch you have that day, that's like self-care, then make the most of it. Always go, like, that's the other thing. Always put your skincare on in upward motions.
Oh.
That's one thing when I do facial. I'm always pulling up.
Defy gravity.
Right. Don't give gravity any help. Always go in upward motions. And then after you do all that, do this and get all the little baby hairs down.
Oh, so they're not all standing up. Yeah. That's so interesting. I love what you said about the hormones, Lynn, because I have clients who they'll need to take like magnesium or ashwagandha or some like Endoflex from Young Living or something like around their period, but like not any other time. So just like supplementation or even food, there's certain times that it's going to be nourishing for you, that you crave certain things, and your skin has cravings too, it sounds like.
Yeah. And the more you tune in, I mean, obviously that's not going to be immediate. You don't all of a sudden learn how to listen to your skin in one day or with one facial, you know.
Oh God, it's taken me 15 years to even listen to my body.
And that's it's a process. So hopefully if you see an esthetician, or you have, a video consultation, if you're not comfortable with having an in-person facial right now, I also do video consults, things like that, just to let you know. We tweak them, and it's a relationship. Hopefully I see people more than once for a facial. I see them regularly, and every time I see them, we check in. How's it going? How's the routine? Is it too hard to keep all these steps? Do we need to combine things? I'm always telling people, if you have 2 serums, mix them together in your hand. You don't need to put them on separately necessarily if they're the right ones. And we talk about these things where we can come up with a way to make it so that it's not so daunting. So Pamela's asking, does the regimen have to be daily to be effective? I agree. Yeah, it does. I mean, something. It may not be exactly the same things every single day. I have said to people, if it's a day when, you don't have any makeup on and you really haven't gone anywhere, then you're going to just do a quick cleanse with your cleanser and just put on that night cream, and don't worry about your, wrinkle serum or whatever it is. I would say the morning routine is more important than the evening routine if you're trying to protect your skin, because that's when you're putting on your sunscreen, right? You're only wearing sunscreen in the morning. That's like number one. And you've got to give your skin some moisture at night. Your skin is repairing itself at night, just like your body, your muscles are repairing themselves at night. If you think of it that way, you've got to give it what it needs in order to repair itself. And you have to do it on a regular basis, right? So just like you would with resistance training, or if you're trying to, train yourself and cardiovascularly, you've got to look at your skin the same way. You don't run every day necessarily, but you may do a different kind of run. Maybe you go for a little longer run one day and you go for a little faster
Right.
on the other day,
Yeah.
right? And maybe you do leg day and maybe you do arm day.
Yeah.
So you're doing some kind of movement every day, right?
But you're
That's
not going to do arm day. Like if your arms are still sore from the last time, you're not going to repeat.
and if,
Yes, Lynn.
right. See, if your skin is telling you, I don't need that right now, then don't do it.
Don't do it.
Else.
Yeah. So what does it need? And I love that you talked about the AM and PM routine for skin. You know, I'm a huge stickler about that in my program. How are we waking up and how are we putting ourselves to bed? And it sounds like morning, most important thing is protection, and evening, most important thing is regeneration. Or is that the word that you used? It was protection in the morning. So your SPF, right? Like cleanser, SPF, and in the evening time, cleanser and like night cream to allow for the moisture and the regeneration of cells. Would be like if you were going to do anything.
I'll make it easier for everybody. Some people don't need to cleanse in the morning, right? So, I mean, I always say you've got to try to do some kind of moisture. So maybe you spray your skin with like a really lovely rose water tonic or something that wakes you up and smells really good. So there's all these great things out there that are aromatherapeutic that you can make part of your routine that you look forward to, and just spray it. And this way, when your skin is slightly damp, it actually accepts products better. So that's when you spray your face in the morning, put on your vitamin C, and then you put on your sunscreen and you're good to go. At night, you definitely want to cleanse. That, to me, that's a non-negotiable, just because even when we're not in a pandemic, but especially because we're in a pandemic, you want to wash your face. You want to get everything that maybe was caught under your mask, any dirt and pollution that was on your skin. You want to get that off your face before you go to bed. And that helps to reduce breakouts as well. And then we're going to put something on that's going to nourish your skin at night. And then if you feel like going a step further, we can talk about treatments for wrinkles, redness, dark spots, all those things. Right. You know, those are not for everybody, and not everyone's going to use the same products, but yeah. So that's what I would say. And so you're going to have your morning routine the energetic way, and then you're going to also incorporate your skin that way. Yeah. Morning and night. So, you know, maybe you put your products on your table, a bedside table, along with your tea and your mirror. And after you wash your face, you can sit in bed and like put your.
I could do that. That's habit stacking. We've been talking about that a lot in the energetic eating method lately. You know, if I'm going to sit in bed anyway, like having that there and seeing it is going to trigger me to just do it. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's putting the lotion on my face. But there's something about it being in the bathroom on top of brushing my teeth, on top of whatever else I have to do, where I feel the resistance in there.
Yeah. And that's the thing is it has to be part of your routine. It has to be like, well, this is just what I do. And I, you know, do this, I do my meditation. Maybe I do a nighttime yoga, you know, a couple of flows to relax me. And I put this cream on, you know, and again, it's self-care. It's not vanity. It's not, you know, anything else like that. If you just think of it that way, then it becomes a lot more palatable, I guess.
And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, when people ask you, like, what have you been doing? Like, you look great, or you look strong, or you look happy, or you look glowing, you know, after someone starts eating better, exercising, and you get to tell them about that. I can see how like having the ownership of that. Someone's like, wow, your skin looks great. It's like, well, yeah, this is what I use and this is what I do, and it feels really good. And, you know, being able to have ownership, empowerment over your face, and like knowing it that well that somebody notices. That's my goal.
So when someone goes through your program and they are seeing really positive results, and people say like, oh my gosh, you look great. And we say, you know, yes, I've been, you know, this idea of these mantras in this program, and I went through this whole thing, and it's this great thing. And I'm going to say, yeah, I've been taking care of myself.
Right.
And I feel really great. And it's like, yeah, I've been taking care of my skin.
Yeah.
Really great. You know, it's the same kind of reaction. Right. So, and wouldn't it be nice to say that, right? Because I feel like that's a lot of people, maybe that's the last thing you think about. You're thinking about, because we eat every day. We have to eat every day, and hopefully we're moving every day. But for some reason, the skin is just, a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I haven't really thought about it. I never had to think about it. In my 20s or my 30s, everything was fine. And I washed my face with Dove and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden I look at myself and it's not fine.
Yeah.
It's just like anything else. You just have to you have to modify a few things to think about it, you know? So
someone was talking about the neck. I don't know what part of the neck they were talking about. You had mentioned something about breaking out on the neck from COVID or something. I do actually, and I've never seen this before, have like a breakout here and here. Maybe people were talking about the neck, like wrinkles.
saggy, right.
Yeah, yes. All of that stuff.
Well, there's two things. So your neck is like, this is such a weird area, right? Because it's like, it's already really thin and there's not a lot of like muscles to like really keep things like tight, right? So a lot of it's skin. And if you're not doing a lot to it, it tends to like, it can really fall and it can get a little lax. So again, what you can do, always go up when you're applying your skin. And there's that skincare. And there's actually, if you look it up on YouTube, there's this woman who pioneered it in Japan, and now a whole bunch of people are doing it. It's like face yoga, where you do a bunch of.
I was going to ask you about that.
Really crazy. I mean, there's something to it, right? It's just like you would with a, resistance training, but like you do these like crazy things with your neck and like stretch it out. I mean, she puts her hand in her mouth and she like starts going all like this, and I'm just like, oh my God. But it's just like anything else. You have to like train it to do a certain thing. And I do a facial called a microcurrent facial, where I basically take electricity and I run it through your skin, and I basically train your muscles to like be higher, and you can do it, and it lasts for like 3 days. But if you could do it, now you're going to see an ad for $200 neck cream. Like, okay, is it going to work? Depends on the ingredients. I'd have to look at it, but you need to be consistent, and you need to make sure that you're protecting it with sunscreen, because with sun, you're going to undo it all if you don't put sunscreen here, right? Because the sun's going to break down all that collagen and elastin. If it's really bad, no cream is going to fix that. If it's very lax and if it's very wrinkled from sun damage or whatever it is, and you need to go and look into getting it fixed, like surgically, okay? But what happens is, this area is, I've noticed in a lot of people, think about what you're doing when you're on your phone. Okay. Are you doing this a lot?
Yeah.
Right. You're looking down a lot. Okay. So what's happening is you're stretching your neck skin back here.
Interesting.
And you're squishing it here.
Yep.
Okay. So this all starts a little bit more like wrinkly, and like every now and then just take a break and like go back like this and just stretch your neck, right? Like stretch your neck out and like take a minute and like really do some neck rolls, right? And like shoulder scrunches. And, if you go out for a walk, like literally walk down the street like this, like go
train your muscles. Yeah. So it's not getting stretched out. It's lazy, which I think is the opposite.
It's getting compressed by doing this all the time. And if you're sitting at a computer, you're compressing it, right? And then the back of your neck's getting all stretched out. And what I'm noticing is people are starting to get rashes just from the consistent movement of always having their neck scrunched like this, right? And they're getting it back here. Now the breakouts back here, I think that's just stress.
Yeah.
I think anytime you have a random like rash, it's either allergies, like seasonal allergies. If you are having like, obviously congestion.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can get seasonal allergies, reactions on your arms, on your hands, on your chest. I get rashes randomly on my chest on my really bad like pollen days.
Uh-huh.
It's sort of like you go on Maplewood Moms and someone takes a picture. What's this rash?
Yeah.
Okay, estheticians get it too. My answer is, I don't know. But try this and see if it helps. Okay, so listen to your rash. But, but that's what happens. So breakouts back here. Also, though, Helen, we talked about this. If you're getting breakouts out here, you need to make sure that after you exercise, if you're not showering right away, I'm not a huge fan of makeup wipes at all. I want to make that very, very clear. But it doesn't have to be a makeup wipe. So Trader Joe's has these awesome face and body wipes, and they smell kind of cucumbery, and they're awesome. they're huge. They're this big. Take a minute, wipe your face, wipe the back of your neck. Okay. Wipe your chest, wipe this part of your neck, wipe your shoulders. Okay. You have a lot of oil glands wherever there's hair on your body. Okay.
Huh.
A pore has hair in it, right? So anywhere you've got hair, and that's your back. Think about it. You know, we're lucky as women. We don't really get hairy backs like some men do, but there's oil back there. And that's why people get back breakouts. And that's why people get chest breakouts, is because we do have oil here. We have a lot of oil in this upper half of our body, especially women down in through here. It's very hormonal. Did you know that hormonal acne and hormonal breakouts, the oil in your skin literally changes texture during that time of the month? Okay. It literally changes viscosity. It gets thicker. Not to be too like gross, but it's true. And this is why we get these breakouts, because the oil is different and it's thicker and it's clogging in there. So take a minute and wipe. And this is the same thing. So Jennifer is asking, she has a rash on her neck and I'm convinced it's from running. Yeah, it could be. It absolutely could be. Because the other thing is, you know,
letting it sit.
Exercise,
Yeah.
well, it purges. What's nice about exercise, right, is it helps you get rid of toxins in your body, right? And when you're getting rid of toxins, where is it coming from? Well, it's coming from, you know, down below, obviously, when you have whatever function, but it also comes out of your skin,
right?
So you can see rashes are sometimes the skin's way of saying, I'm releasing something and it's just making me red here.
And so if we simply just take like a wipe or remember to wipe down those areas, I'll splash my face and I'll wipe myself down, but I don't think about the back of my neck. And so with the weather changing and pollen also and working out, and I do a workout 6 a.m. and then 9:30 Tuesday, Thursday. I don't shower in between. That's because, you know, but then that's drying out, right? And then that's staying on my skin. And then I have the second workout. It's probably clogged or whatever. And then, you know, maybe I'll shower after that.
I mean, and that's the thing though, it's like, and it's salt dries on your skin, and then the salt can contribute to irritation, and it's just, yeah. And so if you just think of it that way, and if you take a minute to do that, and that goes for everyone, whether you're having, you know, breakouts or not due to your mask. If you aren't having them, lucky you. And if you take a minute after you exercise in a mask, if that's what you're doing or running, maybe you can prevent those things from happening in the first place. So,
all right. So we're going to use wipes after our workouts. If we can't get to our face right away, we're going to have a morning and an evening skin routine. More important to wash your face at the end of the day than in the morning. So don't stress about it too much. Vitamin C and SPF, we need to SPF it up, because what's happening with the screens and the sun, we're having damage from all of that stuff. Our skin is individual. There's signs of stress that you as an esthetician can diagnose or talk to your clients about and say, this is what I recommend for you. And by coming to see you a few times, we come up with a regimen that works. And what else? Yeah, this is good stuff, Lynn.
Thank you. I just typed in the chat, in the Facebook comments, I just typed a really good brand for sunscreen in case anybody wants to know about those. Brush, powder brush. There's so many of them out there. They're all really, really good. But for whatever reason, I really like Supergoop. It's a funny name, but they have a lot of great products.
They do. Yeah. I was using their sunscreen. They have like a nice big pump bottle. Put on the kids. It dries really easily because it's it doesn't like leave that coating on. It's like a nice in between. And as far as products, I know, you know, what blows my mind also is that I'm like, but I only use this brand, and you can mix and match. In fact, it's almost necessary in a way. Like they want to keep you, but you gave me this lovely face wash that works so much better for me. That's not in my Sunday Riley collection. So yeah, what are your favorite brands in general?
Yeah, so I have two brands that I work with in my room that are among my favorites. And that's why I have them, because I'm really very I'm into very natural products that don't have a lot of extra ingredients or potentially, you know, harmful ingredients like parabens and things like that. So number 2 of importance, I would say, or equal to number 1 is no animal testing. So that was really important to me. So I have Christine Valmy, which a lot of people haven't heard of, but that's where I went to school for my aesthetics license. And that's what I have in my room. And also Erin's Faces. So Jennifer is saying in the chat there, yeah, Erin's Faces. And that's a great brand. She's actually local. It's a woman-owned business. I know her from my Sephora days. She lives 1 street behind me in Maplewood, which is crazy. And I love her products. I don't have all of her products, but I have a sort of a curated selection. I really like Erin's Faces a lot for the quality, and I just know it's very ethically sourced, and she cares about skincare and her clients so much. And I always love supporting other women, so carry her as well. I also love Sunday Riley. A lot of my clients will hear me recommend certain products from Sunday Riley. They make a retinol oil that I love called Luna. And a couple of other brands. I love Supergoop for sunscreen. I also love the brand Tarte, so Tarte. I used to freelance for them pre-COVID when they had freelancers in store, and they make skincare and they make makeup, and it's hypoallergenic, it's natural, but it also is high performing, really good ingredients. And so I like those brands a lot. And there's a couple of like little niche products here and there. I love this brand called Clove and Hallow. It's CLOVE. I think it's Anne and then HALLOW. Find them online. I use their mineral sunscreen foundation. It's a powder. And they also make this wonderful antioxidant oil that I sometimes use at night. That just smells really good.
You were telling me to get salicylic acid?
Salicylic acid.
Salicylic acid. Yeah.
That's like my number 1 thing that I'm constantly telling people. So it's a brand called Caudalie. So I will write it in here for you because it is impossible. It's called Vino Pure.
Now, is that a spot treatment or like an overall? Yeah.
I use it all over. But again, personalized. So if your problem area is you're always breaking out on your chin, put it on your chin.
Right.
You know, and that's it. And then maybe you put a different serum on the rest of your face, or don't use anything the rest of your face and just put that there. So again, it's very personal to what's going on with your skin at that particular time. So that's what it's called. Caudalie Vino Pure. Now, Vino Pure has a whole line of products, and sometimes I'll recommend the whole line for someone who is breaking out, just to sort of get everything under control, and then we can start to like cherry pick. Right. So a lot of people, it's not necessarily wrong to use something from the whole line. Like for instance, I have one client who cannot use anything except this Lancome series of products because for whatever reason, everything else makes her break out. And so we found a couple of things you can like put in there with it. But I find that it's good to just sort of say this ingredient and this serum are going to work together and give you this result. And if it doesn't work, then we'll find something else. But again, listening to your skin, it'll tell you whether you need to find something else or whether it's working. So
yeah.
Well,
Lynn, how can we book an appointment with you if we want to learn a little bit more about how to take care of it and which products are good for us?
Okay, so the easiest thing to do is go on my website, and you can actually book an appointment right there through my Calendly, and my website is www.linyourface.com.
Lynn your face.
Lynn your face. This is what happens when you have a husband in your company. Yes, linyourface.com. And when you go on there, you can see a menu of services, and you can see a little bit about me. And then you can also, there's many, many links that all go to the same place, which is my, there it is, my Calendly, and you can request an appointment there. So
can we come to see you at Victory Salon in Maplewood?
Yes. So this is where my facial room is. I'm at Victory Salon in Maplewood, which is literally right next to the train station on the town side. So it's between Valley Bank and the train station. It's this tiny little salon. I'm in the basement in my little cave. So I do facials here, and I also do makeup out of here as well. Or I can come to your house to do makeup, or you can come to my studio at my house. So you have some more options when it comes to makeup. But the facials I do here, because you can see, I don't know if you can, there's like a bunch of equipment here that I can't, I can't carry. So you got to come here, but it's a cool space.
It is. I've been there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Lynn, thank you so much. Anybody else who's still on the live, give a warm thank you to Lynn, please, for joining us today and taking the time out of her day to tell us all these awesome things about skin. I'm going to look up those products and I'll check in with you before I pull the trigger. But
yes, that must be
back. I know.
And that's the other thing. Once we're working together, I have clients who text me all the time, like 10:30 at night, and they're on Sephora website and they're like, should I get this? And look, if I'm still awake and I'm around, I will absolutely be there for you. I love to talk skincare and makeup, and will love to just, give you any advice and talk about whatever you want to talk about. So it's a pleasure.
Good. Thank you so much, Lynn. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You as well. And thanks everybody for tuning in.
Bye guys. Bye, Lindsay. Thanks, Michelle. Lindsay's booked for May.
Yes, awesome. She is. Yay.
Good stuff. All right. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.